Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender. Me, myself, and I play through the main event scenario. We're getting ready to go into the December 1943 Soviet Operations phase. It is poor. That's not the weather track. It is poor in the cold zone, so we are going to try and do some things here. I really want to kind of try and bust open myself here in the north a little bit, see if this works. So I'm going to move the shock army, 1, 2, 3, and then it's 4, 5, 6, 7 to assault the north. This guy is 2 to assault the north, and this guy is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to assault the north. Get up my faction, my national tracks. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 36. I will bring up the faction track here. Faction card. The Germans don't have anything that they can play. They don't have any airplanes in range, so I'm going to put a tanks marker. 1 plus 2, or 2 plus 1. It's the same, unless I play 2 tanks markers, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to put down a tanks marker. I am not going to play heavy artillery here this time. But I will use up this airplane. So I am starting off at +1 because I'm... this guy's the primary. The guard's armored. So he is +1 because he's elite, +1 because he thinks he's a tank, +1 for his buddy from the north, and then in poor weather, adding a shock adds +2. Then I add 1 for the airplane. Then I take away 1 for the swamp and 1 for the weather. So it's a +4 to a +2 assault. And the Russians roll a 3. +4 is a 7, and the Germans roll 5 + 2 is a 7, so that does nothing. So, much ado about everything. Tanks marker goes back on the turn track. Next turn. Whoop, nope. Oh, February? I don't have to wait 2 turns for it. Okay, so that one failed. Next up, oh boy, I really don't know what to do next. Why don't we come down to the south and let's do the more obvious things here. Part of me wants to try and blow up the 1st Panzer. Just part of me. Checking the turn track. I have a surprise attack marker coming next turn, but I don't see my partisans until March. So the question is do I want to try to push right now in the south, or do I want to try and bust this whole Dnieper-Duna line? Keep working on that in the north. I could play my partisans marker here on the guy in Smolensk. I don't have any airplanes left. They're all kaputted. But at Smolensk, the best I could get would be +2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could get +6, -1 for the city, -1 for the weather, which would be +4. And I could play, if I play a partisans marker there first, the best he would be is a +1. +4 to a +1 means I'd probably take the city, but I probably wouldn't do him in. And if I could do the same thing down here to this Panzer, this 1st Panzer, I could do something very similar to that. And he would be a +1, and I would be a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could be +6 to +1, +5 to +1. Or I could just hang on to the partisan for another turn and just see what I get away with attacking the infantry. Trying to make this armor move just because it'll be outflanked if it doesn't. I'm going to go a little bit more conservative because if I save at least 15 points, I will be able to... I want to save 17 if I can, because I can build up all my airplanes and build my another armored unit. So I think we're going to go a little bit more on the conservative side and just go after the infantry here. So this Guards Tank Army can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And assault here. I can bring in this shock army. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, no, I can't. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I can't. Can't bring that shock army in. I have to do this without a shock army. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I will only be +2, +2, +2. Several +2s. So that'd be +6. -2 would be +4 to +2. Oh, maybe I won't do that. Let's back up. Let's think about this. Probably not the best way to go about this. Is attacking in the forest. So this didn't work up here. Trying to get to this one, he's going to be -3 in that hex from where I would have to attack it. There's no way to take that hex would be to play the partisans right now. Do I go ahead and play the partisans and try and blow up the 1st Panzer? Then the north has to wait for quite a while before I can push through it. Oh boy. Yeah, well, let's go line this up. It'd be +6 to +3. Or +5 to +3. Yeah, let's... use the heavy artillery next turn. Oh, I could use the heavy artillery on this guy. That would give me an extra +2. Maybe I want to blow up Smolensk. Let's see if we can blow up Smolensk. We're going to play its parson on Smolensk. Slomet. I can speak. Yes, I can. Slomet. Smolensk. Thank you. We're going to move the 4th Shock Army 1 to there. And then we're going to assault this German Panzer here. Let's put him... Everybody can see him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 4th Guards has to go there. And this was the 4th Shock. So that would be 1, 2 for the armor and 1 for the Shock Army. And I'm going to save that armored unit to go. Maybe run down here somewhere. Or do something else, depending on how this works. So I'm going to use this Shock Army. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 for the unit, 2 for the hex, 1 for the river is 5, and a toast of 1, 2, 3 to get there. So yeah, we'll do it that way. It gives me the best pluses. So normally the Germans would be +2 because they're German, +1 because they're armor, but they're -2 because they're partisans. And then the the armored had to be up north. This is not going to work the way I wanted it to. Okay, this this shock army. I gotta back everything up. Okay. So the partisans marker comes out. I'm doing this wrong. This tank's army goes 1, 2, 3, 4. This tank's army goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then this shock army goes here. Or no, I wanted to bring the shock army from the back. 1, 2, 3. No, the shock army goes here. So it ends up being the same amount of points. It's almost the same amount of points. It's 2, 4, 5. And I spent 4 before. So this brings me down to 21. And now this guy's the primary. So he's +1. +1 because he's armor. Add in 2 for shock, 2 for an armor, -1 for the river, or not -1, -1 for the city, -1 for the thing. And the Germans are at a +1 because normally they'd be a +2 for the German, +1 for the armor, but -2 because of the partisans. So it's a +4 to a +1 assault. Here we go. 4 + 4 is an 8. The Germans roll. 5 + 1 is a 6, which is just enough. An 8 to a 6 says, screw you, Russia and your partisans. So, no, that doesn't work. I'm afraid to even do this attack. Going up against the Panzer would be +5 to +3. I'm not sure that that's worth it. I can have a +4 to a +2 at the south. At this point, I think I'm just going to try and do this one. Then I could possibly do this one, depending on where he goes. So let's do him first. I really kind of wanted to get to Kiev. It's not working out the way I wanted it to. Oh well. Well, we're going to put the 5th tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, don't know if I'll actually do the attack, but I'm going to put the 5th tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, that's 2. And that's just so I can move in this tank's army here for 2 more. 27. And we're going to assault this hex. We'll add in the shock army. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4. -1 would be +3 to +2. +3 to 2. Yeah, I gotta count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10. 14. Missed one. It's only a +3. It's the best I can get is a +3. And then it would be a +2. So we're going to try and get a retreat on the +3. I could go with +4 there. Trying to get him flipped, then he'd be -2. So he'd only be a 0. Right now he's a +2. I could put a tanks marker there. Am I going to do any other real assaults? Might do one down there. I think I'm going to activate this guy. Which is not going to be the greatest of turns. But we'll go there, and we'll throw a tanks marker as well. on this guy up here. So that I'm 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -1 for the weather, so I'm +5. +5 to 2. It's best I can do. So Russians roll a 1, +5 is a 6. Germans roll a 1, +2 is a 3. So they're retreated. They cannot retreat, so they must be flipped. And tanks go on the turn track. So that's not exactly the way I wanted that to work. I'm going to spend another 1 to move this shock army. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no reason to attack here. It's at bad odds. I just wanted to get the shock army up to the front line. Let's see. He would only be a +0. I could be a net +1 to +0. So I guess we try it, right? Just to try and kill the unit. So we'll activate him. Use our last tanks marker. Hello. Last tanks marker. In a futile attempt to kill the first German infantry again. That makes me +1 because I'm elite, and +1 for the tanks, and -1 for the weather. And he would normally be +2, but he's -2 because he's flipped. And then we roll. The Russians roll. Hey, a 6 + 1 is a 7. The Germans roll a 5. And they hold again. The German First Army does not want to die. It wants to live forever. Tanks marker goes up there. 1 + 2. Or 1 + 2. Either way, it'd be a +2 to +2. So let's move the guards unit 1, 2, 3 up. Another 2. Right. Well, actually, I could get the guards tank army down here. Couldn't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let's not move this second guards. We'll move this guards tank army instead. Okay. So that gives me +2 for that, +2 for an armor, -1 for weather, and the Germans are a +2. So it's a +3 to a +2 on the 15th. I'm a 7, and the Germans roll 5 + 2 is a 7, so nothing happens. It's a very large waste of time and money. The third shock will move 1, 2, 3, put himself there. Second guards will go 1, 2, 3, 4. Puts me down to 20. I basically got 3 movement points left, or 3 production points worth of movement left. I really don't have a lot of things I want to move. Left. Well, heck. Just want to push a guards army forward. Yeah, I guess I'll just push this guards army to here. So, just to make sure I did this right, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 26 from 40. would leave me with 16. Did I do this wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 26 from 40. 10, 26 would put me at 14. Which is not where I wanted to be. So, that last guards unit that I moved, this guy, okay, I should be at 16 now, if I did this right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That leaves me at 16. So not quite enough to build my armor. Okay, well, I'm going to bring up my airplanes and... well, if I don't bring up one airplane, I could move that guards unit, because then I'd be at 14. And I leave one airplane down. So, yeah. Guess I'm going to have to leave it. I really want to bring up my Russian airplanes, so I'm not going to build the armor. I'm going to waste a point. I can move an infantry somewhere. The armor would help in assaults because it'd be +2. It's terrible. So if I build the armor, then I'd have 2 movement points left, so I could go ahead and just push this guards to here. Be 14, I'm only going to bring up 4 airplanes, not all 5. It's just the way it is. Okay, that's the Soviets' turn. They reset their activated pieces and stuff. Everything's in supply. Nobody's stuck out on a limb. Didn't get a lot of push out of anything. I do have to roll for the partisans. Roll a die. Looks like a 4. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Back in April. So things are going to stall out here for the rest of the winter, I think. Unless I use some heavy artillery, which I'm loath to do until I'm going after something important like Kiev or Leningrad. They tend to be rolling, really high numbers for them to come back. So I don't know. I guess that's that. I'm going to need that up here real quick. Sequence of play. So that was operations. Nobody has a no supply marker. Replacements phase. Axis. They had, national tracks wise, they have 24. So the first thing we're going to do is make sure we get our stuff flipped. This guy gets flipped up. That's 1. There's a couple guys over here. That's 2. I'm going to flip the first back up. That's 3. I had 24, so that's 1, 2, 3, and then I had a reserve guy that I also needed to flip up here. I didn't have anybody else flipped in the eastern front. Nothing got flipped over here. Right. And nothing flipped up there. So yeah, that'll work there. And then I have 15. 15. That leaves me 5. So there'll be one militia guy I won't build this turn. But it lets me flip up 15 points worth of airplanes. I'm going to zoom out so I can get to my airplanes a little bit quicker. So that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Okay. And I'll be able to build the airplane and like the infantry and the Vassal unit. And a third garrison will have to wait till next turn. Okay. That's replacements axis, replacements west. Now they have to be careful here. They have only basically 12 to spend. And the way I was going to do that is I was going to go 3. 6, 9. Oh, I have to bring down my bomber. Dag nabbit. I'm not going to bring down the bomber. 3, 6, 9, 12. That's my 12. And I'm not going to bring down the British bomber. The Americans just like get their stuff back. He should have actually been at 5 when he moved, and then he comes down to. That's all the American stuff. Oh, they have one in the med there. He comes down to, and their airplane comes down to. Okay. So that's the West, and then the Soviets. They really want to build their armor, so they're only going to flip up 4 airplanes, so they have 2 left for production for building this armored unit. Airplanes wise, let's see, the Germans have 2 in the south, and I have. Let's get this out of my way for the moment. I can have 3 in the south and 1 in the north, which means he'll probably stop the one in the north and 2 of the ones in the south. We're going to have these 2. Those will be the 4 that I take. I'll leave the guy in Kursk out of it for now. I could take the guy in Kursk. No, that's playing games. There's nobody's got upgrades. Mobilization. The Axis does have mobilization. Not that card. That's card. Hello, card. They have 5, so they're going to spend all 5. The Hungarians, while I'm thinking about it, are going to spend 1, and they're going to go ahead and flip their infantry guy, so I don't forget. The Germans spent 5. They will be putting an infantry unit here in Dusseldorf. They will be putting the airplane with 4 sorties in Metz. And then they're going to build Vlaslav in the east. Up here at doesn't really matter. He's going to have to get strategically redeployed wherever he goes. Okay. That's the Germans. The West. The British have 20 left. They will spend the 20 to put their surprise attack marker 4 turns into the future. 1, 2, 3, 4 comes back in April. And then the Soviets have 2. So spend their 2 there. And they will build this armored unit. Where would I build the armored unit? That's a good question. I currently have 1 guards, and a regular tank. South of the Desna, I have 2 guards tank armies north of the Desna, but I don't have an extra armored army there. So, I think I will build him someplace that's going to be useful. I'll build him in the north, I think, someplace. I could build him up here, and then I could get +2 instead of this infantry unit. So we'll use build the armor up here to try and really push through on this. Get this Nor unit to move. Okay. Probably the wrong thing to do, but hey, that's what I do. We ain't talking because we're all fighting. They haven't conquered Germany yet. This game's not over. End of turn phase. Turn track comes up. Faction card comes up. Germans, their surface action marker back, and tanks marker. Still have submarines from before. I always get all sorts of stuff. British get their tanks. Russians get theirs. The Russians, I believe, get a surprise attack marker here because it's January of 44. Yes, they do. So now the Russians have a surprise attack marker. And they get a partisans. And the Americans have a surprise attack marker. And the British Americans have an airdrop marker. And the 12th Fleet goes into the mobilization box. So the Americans will have something to build next turn. Okay. We move the turn track to January. And that, kids, is the end of the December 1943 turn. Soviet operations and end of turn phases. We will begin with 1944 in the next episode. Until then, this is Dren608. If you like my videos, please subscribe so that you don't miss any future episodes as they come out. And we will be back with January 1944 in the next episode. Bye-bye.